landed, it slid to its final rest. It didn't overturn again or trip or anything like that. It basically slid to its final rest.
All right. And looking at, is that Specs Exhibit 5?
It's a 72.
All right, looking at Specs Exhibit 72, what is consistent about Specs Exhibit 72 that shows that the car was sliding on its roof?
Um, you can't really see the roof in this picture, but on the hood, it's got striations that kind of curve. That means the vehicle rotated as it was sliding based off the striations on the hood.
Now, in this collision, there was a person that was ejected. I'm showing you States Exhibit 39, and given what you've stated that the car did a barrel roll, how is it that the person that was ejected, how would they have been ejected from this car?
Um,
Been that initial impact?
no, sir.
Okay, why not?
Because in that occupant kinematics class, they explained to us ejections a little bit, and they said that to be ejected, you have to have an avenue out of the vehicle. When it initially hits the wall, that the induced damage is going to bust the windows, and then when it continues and goes to barrel roll, that the front seat passenger is going to be thrown against the A pillar based off how the damage is. It's going to be the the passenger is going to be thrown toward the A pillar. Well, when it goes to roll and when it hits, the vehicle is slowing down, but the person is continuing to at the same speed, just like the initial impact. Well, when the vehicle slows down, the the person is still traveling at the same speed again, and then
Hitting the A pillar wouldn't have slowed them down?
it would, but when they're going in unison together, and then when the vehicle hits the ground on the roof before it comes to final rest, the vehicle is slowing down where the person is not slowing down the same speed as the vehicle again because it's in the vehicle, but it's not restrained to the vehicle, so it's slowing down at a different rate.
Why wouldn't hitting the A pillar stop you if you don't go through it?
Well, it would, but at that point, you're riding the A pillar like a seat at that point. And then when it overturns and lands on its roof, it's slowing down again. It's another impact. Well, the person is riding the roof or the A pillar, and when the vehicle slows down, the person is not, and that's when the person exits the vehicle out of the passenger window.
Okay. And so in States Exhibit 39,
Yes, sir.
where we have the individual that was ejected, there is a trail of red substance going kind of towards the bridge. What is that indicative of?
It looks like blood.
All right, and so that person going that way, would that show them being thrown out at initial impact, or once that car has done the barrel roll and is now going away from the bridge?
It would be the secondary, not the initial impact, but when it's after it's hit the bridge and done the barrel roll and landed on the roof.
All right. Now, a person that is in that driver's seat, once it does that barrel roll and they're going towards the A pillar, what happens to that person next?
They become an object in the vehicle. They're gonna go the path of least resistance. They're gonna go being on the roof, they're gonna go however the vehicle's rotating. So if they're gonna get thrown or continue toward the path of the damage, and then the vehicle is going to continue on and overturn. Well, the person is going to be on the roof, and as the vehicle's rotating, he's gonna be thrown around in the vehicle to wherever he comes to final rest with the vehicle.
All right. In a collision where you have that, change of direction that is so quick, where the car is, going this way, and then that, person that's in that driver's seat is also going toward that A pillar. If the car, suddenly bounces off that wall at, I think you said the delta V was like -50, -46, with the momentum of that car bouncing off the wall and that person being, just a free object, would that assist that person with getting from the front to the back of the car?
Yes, sir.
All right. And how fast would, that change of direction have been, for a person that was going towards that A pillar and now the car is going the other direction, away from that wall? How quickly would that have happened?
That's gonna be in the milliseconds time frame. That's gonna be really fast.
Um, with respect to the driver and then the person that would be behind the driver in the back seat, would the person behind the driver be, above the driver, or would they be below them at impact when they're being thrown towards uh, towards that area of impact?
With the damage to the center console, it'd be more likely than not that the back seat passenger would be on a lower trajectory than the front seat passenger, so it would put them lower.
Why is that? Why would one be lower than the other if they're encountering the same force?
I didn't see anything in the driver area under the steering wheel or the center console that would have impeded the flow of the person traveling toward the direction of the damage, whereas the back occupant was slowed down a little bit by the back of the center console, so that would basically cause a hesitation to slow it down to get the trajectory a little bit lower.
But if a car flips over, why is someone
Wh-
higher than, why aren't they all?
This is the initial impact with the wall
Mhm.
before the roll. The typically they would both be on the same path, but if being the center console was hit, it basically slowed down the occupant a little bit and made it lower, I guess, than it would be without hitting that to slow it down.
Okay.
It would basically bend them at the waist to get them, being the lower extremities is being held up. It would bend them at the waist to get them uh, through the between the seats.
I'm showing you States Exhibit 165. Looking at States Exhibit 165, and based off of your, evaluation of the car, the case file, and your training, and your experience in a collision like this, what do you see at States Exhibit, was it 165?
Yes, sir.
What do you see in States Exhibit 165?
There's some bruising on the right side and a big abrasion just above the hip. And some other bruising, discoloration in that area.
Now, with that bruising and discoloration that's on States Exhibit 165, would that be consistent with somebody, hitting the gear shift going towards that A pillar?
Yes, sir.
I'm showing you defense exhibit, I'm sorry, plaintiff, state's exhibit 105, already in evidence. What do you see in state's exhibit 105?
That's gonna be the interior of the car. It's gonna be looking in from the driver window toward the center console area.
All right, and what would have contributed to that portion of the center console being damaged?
There's a lot of busted up plastic. Was the console damage or,
Yes, specifically the console.
um,
Objection. I think we can answer what he believes to be, I guess, consistent or, but he can't say definitively, what the question.
Sustained.
My question was, would that be consistent with,
This is your new question.
my new question is, what would that be consistent with, in state's exhibit, what is it?
105?
In state's exhibit 105, given, looking at this case file and the injuries that you saw to Mr. Minor, what injuries would that be consistent with?
The center console would cause injuries on the right side of the body, and I feel like it would be consistent with the injuries that Mr. Minor sustained in this collision would match the center console area of this vehicle.
All right. Based upon, as you stated, the injury profiles that you've seen in this case, based upon the physical evidence that are that you reviewed in this case, where is it that you would put each person in that car?
I'm gonna object. This is the line of questioning. You can't say where each person would be in the vehicle.
Your response?
Of the former objection was that foundation wasn't laid to his ability to be able to do that, and that it was premature. At this point, he's testified to the injuries that each person sustained, as well as what parts of the car could have caused those injuries to each individual person.
If you want to employ the word consistent, I think you can ask your question.
Now, based off of your review of the case file, the reports from the medical examiner and from Grady, what are your findings consistent with as far as the placement of each person in the car?
Based off everything that I looked at, the medical records, the autopsy reports, the vehicle damage, I placed Mr. Minor in the driver's seat, Mr. Jones in the front passenger seat, and Mr. Poole in the back seat behind the driver.
All right, and is that consistent with everything that you've reviewed with this case file?
All the physical evidence other than the skirt report is consistent with everything there.
All right. All right, thank you. No further questions.
My recollection, ladies and gentlemen, is that tonight's not a late night for you. So rather than have the state do a few minutes of cross-examination, unless they only have a few, they have more, then we're going to stop today. I do not have drug court tomorrow, so we are able to start bright and early in the morning. And we will press on with the case. Just like, all right. 9 a.m. work for everyone? That's what we'll do. Let's aim to be here by 9 a.m. I'm assuming you did a stellar job over the last 4 days of not conducting any outside research or talking about the case. By day 2, you probably didn't want to talk about it anyway, but you're back in it again. So resume the information bubble. If you have questions for Mr. Swanner, you'll get to have them posed sometime tomorrow morning. But we'll start with the state's cross-examination of Mr. Swanner as close to 9 o'clock as we can engineer it. Any logistical questions from any of you? No? Thank you all for being here. We'll see you bright and early. Do you need me? Hey, this was a fun day. I gotta engage with them a little bit. Do you need something? No, she's good. Okay.
I'm waiting.
All right, we're still on the record, so Mr. Swanner, we'll need you back here a little before 9 tomorrow. Between now and then, don't talk with anyone about your testimony about the case. We'll get you on and hopefully get you out of here tomorrow morning, okay? You should step outside. You're welcome to take your binder with you.
Have a seat.
I emailed to all the lawyers at some point, the jury charge from last time and asked for any feedback, concerns or whatnot by close of business Monday. I didn't get anything from the state, so I take that to mean that unless something changes with the rest of the presentation in the case, last trial's jury charge works for this trial. Okay, Mr. Miller, same for the defense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Miller, you had mentioned at one point that Mr. Poole was thinking more about whether he was going to testify. I need to engage with him at some point. Again, if he's going to change his mind, which is 100% okay. He is free to do that. But if he does, I'll just need to get on the record that he is knowingly and voluntarily and intelligently switching to say, now I'm not going to testify. We don't need to do that right now, but it would be great not to have to take a break we don't need to take if the only other witness you're going to have when Mr. Swanner is done would potentially be Mr. Poole. What's the latest that you want to share with me?
Yeah, I'll say tomorrow morning after we have tonight.
Okay, so before we bring the jury in tomorrow, we can revisit that.
That's correct.
Okay, and I want to be clear, Mr. Poole, that doesn't need to be your final answer. It may be that everyone wants to see how cross-examination of Mr. Swanner goes. But in particular, if you think that you are not going to call Mr. Poole, and that's really not the right way to put it, Mr. Poole is choosing not to testify because it's your decision, Mr. Poole, not Mr. Miller's. That's what I need the heads up on, because that's when I need to get something on the record with Mr. Poole saying, I've changed my mind. I understand what all that means. But if it's going to be he's testifying, I don't really need to talk about it again, because what we have on the record is Mr. Poole knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily saying, I do want to exercise my right to testify. So we'll just need to switch that around. So I'll check in the morning. No other witnesses other than potentially Mr. Poole before you rest.
No, Your Honor, that's.
Okay. At this juncture, Mr. Body, does it look like there'll be rebuttal testimony, or that hinges on what Swanner says on cross and if Mr. Poole testifies?
Only one witness, Your Honor.
And that's happening regardless of if Mr., well, you'd get to cross, but if Mr. Miller rests after Mr. Swanner, you're still calling a witness.
Yes.
And that person can be here tomorrow from mid-morning onward?
As long as the court will order that person to be here, yes.
Okay.
If the person has indicated that that's what they would like to.
To be ordered to be here?
Yes, that is, I mean, it's obviously it is the payment, but we had anticipated it'd probably be late this afternoon and not happen, obviously.
So this person is unhappy?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to wait till the morning and tell me who it is, or you want?
It's a doctor that's out of Defense Exhibit 8. It's Dr. Roberto Hernandez Urizare. He's an orthopedic surgeon, who operated on the defendant. And he has a busy day, I guess, surgery-wise.
Got it. Oh, so he's got things he needs to do, and so it needs to, I guess, be in order. Okay. Is that an order I need to, a written order? Okay. All right. If you all could email me name, rank, serial number for this doctor and the window for which you'd like that order to be, I'll do that. All right.
We would object to this doctor as he's not on any witness list that was produced by the state.
Okay, but a rebuttal witness springing from your evidence, what's the lack of notice that you've got?
One, we haven't had a chance to prepare for this witness. And I don't, what was the name again?
Dr. Roberto Hernandez Urizare.
Oh, I remember the name, and you'll get it. You'll be on the email that goes to me for the order. But I understand you probably haven't talked to that person, but this is a person whose statements you relied upon in your presentation of your exhibit. And so I'm trying to work through what the objection would be of, I didn't know that this person is a potential witness when it's a person whose statement I used at trial.
We relied on the witness list that the state produced 10 days prior to trial. And this person wasn't mentioned anywhere on that witness list. They did have others, but we fought to try to keep those persons out. And so to bring this person the day before, and I would just object to the timeliness of it.
Okay, objection noted. We'll see if he even shows up. But if you can email me that, I'll get an order. Is it an order you can deliver tomorrow, or you'd like to have it today, so you've got it over the evening? I'm happy to go do it, but then someone needs to stick around. But I want to let everyone else go. Okay, all right. Anything else from the state?
No, I know the state had noticed, counsel in the court for, an expert, Mr. Paul Lewis. Unfortunately, due to the timing of the break, he's now, as of this evening, on a plane to London. So
Okay.
I want to interrupt that.
So you won't be calling Paul Lewis. All right. Mr. Miller, anything else? I know we've got defendants 20, and we'll talk about that. I'm going to let people go right now.
No, do I need to stick around with Mr. Abate?
You're welcome to. All I'm doing is handing him an order that will be e-filed as well. I'll e-file it. And the order is simply going to say, you need to be here tomorrow pursuant to your subpoena and order of the court.
I'll stick around.
You're entitled to do that. We're not going to have anything on the record. I'm going to let Ms. Rivers go. If there's something you want to get on the record tomorrow in connection with whatever discussion we have about the order, we'll certainly do that. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. And Mr. Miller, I apologize on behalf of court technology that you had to go old school with the photos. Every judge has been, there are about 5 trials going on right now, and they have been sending these emails saying who needs to be fired from IT. Hopefully tomorrow it's back in action, not for your direct examination, but you handled that very smoothly, and the timing was suboptimal.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It was, what a cluster. I'm getting these texts from these judges saying, who fixes this? Like, it doesn't, you don't snap your fingers. Being a judge doesn't make this any easier.